Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This one is focused on tier 2 alphas. For a lot of players they find these very easy to get, but a lot of players when they're starting off the game or maybe they're advancing through the content and the champions want to know the best ways to get them, and this video really facilitates that. So let's delve into it. As we know, to get the most powerful champions you're going to need a lot of tier 2 alpha. The first time you come across the most is by doing Act 4 and Act 5. Act 4 sees 4 coming your way, with you seeing 5 from the completion and 18,000 fragments from doing Chapter 4. After completing those things you may feel yourself comfortable and as well have the champions in order to give a real shot at Labyrinth of Legends. Do bear in mind this does take a lot of your resources. I've done a guide of this, so I will put a link in the description, but it's not always plain sailing and it's always best to focus on the monthlies instead for a while until, say, your champion strength outweighs the difficulty of the content. And this is largely when the monthly quests come into play, as giving that little booster to your tier 2 alpha fragments. 100%ing master each month will see you 3,600 fragments. Completion of uncollected will give you 3,000 fragments. But if you're thinking about what you can actually get each month from master uncollected by doing the chapters and the full exploration, you're looking at 15,600 fragments in total, which unfortunately is still under half a tier 2 alpha to get. But also look out for special events. Each month or maybe once every 2 months, Kabam do launch a special event which gives you an opportunity to get a tier 2 alpha. Now it's not always going to be plain sailing, but there could be some really decent options available to pick up some fragments. For example, this combat clash mission. But that may not be easy options for people, so what are the easier options? The first thing is calendars. Now even though this doesn't look like it's got anything tier 2 alpha related, please don't let that discourage you, because it's a case that Kabam do put in from time to time tier 2 alphas. Probably on average they put about 2 a year, but that's still halfway to a rank up of a champion in order to get it really strong. So log in each day and check back each month is really advised. Look out for special alliance participation events, so the gifting event at Christmas. Sometimes there's others that come about, and it does give you the opportunity to work together as an alliance to really push yourself to get that tier 2 alpha. Now that is a point, you'll have to be an alliance that works together, and alliances are incredibly important in order to do things like Alliance War seasons as well as map questing. It's incredibly important at this point to aim high. You want to aim to get into an alliance that can at least get 4,200 placement for alliance quest, or the alliance rank from doing alliance quest. This is the point where you say to yourself, I want more tier 2 alpha, and yes, it's not going to be easy, it's not going to happen overnight, but you've got to aim high. You've got to work on your roster, work on your skills, and make sure that your alliance that you're going to be joining or in are able to do more competitive maps. I'm talking like map 5. Even at a point of getting some milestones in order to get some map 6 crystals, and map 6 crystals do give out tier 2 alphas as well. But yes, doing that might not be actually achievable. So is there anything, again, that could be a little more easier for someone that's, say, new to the game or being a beginner level? The answer is yes and no. Yes, you can by spending your glory on 1,800 a time on the tier 2 alpha fragments, as you can see in the glory store, but you really shouldn't concern yourself just with that. If you've not done Act 4 yet, then that's really the first port of call, and then as well working on your champions and joining an alliance that is starting to become quite competitive. Not ridiculously competitive, because let's face it, if you're up there right at the very top, you're going to find that you're getting glory, you're going to find you're getting tier 2 alpha left, right and center, you're going to be in the top, so it doesn't really concern you. But those that have just started the game, understand patience, and you have to grind in order to get to a point where you're getting stuff easier. And the same thing can be said for Alliance Wars. Alliance War seasons, as we know, is a way to get a good amount of tier 2 alpha. Not a huge amount, but enough to make you go, right, this is going to be improvement. But you need to be in gold 1 in order to get that stuff. Not easy, I know, when you're starting off the game, but at the same time, it's all about patience and it's all about working towards that goal. You can jump this, you can spend your money, and that's the other thing. It's easy to spend your money and just go, I'm just going to buy an offer, and that's going to help you out. But it is a point of going, we'll have to buy several offers to make that jump from a very beginner level right the way up to a very stronger level and stronger footing with decent champions in the game. And if anybody was considering buying, I would recommend waiting to substantial offers that add extras to unit packs, because then you're getting double the amount of stuff. This usually happens on Christmas Day and also happens around about Cyber Monday. So that is a good point if you were to buy. And the thing is, if you don't have any money and you can't afford to buy, then maybe for things like birthdays, for Christmas, for other holidays, then ask for Google Play cards or iTunes vouchers in order to then purchase that. So therefore you don't feel completely at a loss if you can't afford it. It largely depends on how desperate you are and how impatient you are in order to get champions up further and faster. I would largely say you've got a choice on how you spend your resources, and in particular your currencies like glory. If you're at a point of saying, right, well, I buy a lot of revives and a lot of health potions, then maybe consider, instead of buying them with glory, instead buying them with units if you want to increase your arena grinding and get units from battle chips, milestones, and as well, with battle chips, I mean crystals, arena crystals. So if you spend your units on revives as well as health potions, then saving your glory for things that matter. In particular, save them for resources, like in fact the tier 2 alpha. My hope for the future is that Kabam would actually add in a tier 2 alpha arena at some point. That I would quite happily pay 10k battle chips in order to enter. Because considering that maybe they could put a certain amount of fragments in of it and it wouldn't be a huge amount, that would be meeting in the middle with the developer. So yeah, if they could add that, that would be a great addition, because then players would be able to get a bit more and also rank up further champions. Do bear in mind, when you reach a certain point, you are screaming out for more tier 2 alpha and fast. And spending in the glory store isn't always the most ideal place, but it is a good place at the moment. Now that's been my pick of the best places to go in order to get tier 2 alpha. Hopefully it helped people out, and if it did, hit the like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. Catch me on the Discord server if you want to chat with me directly, and also hit me up on a live stream, usually about 1900 hours each day and at 1600 hours at the weekends. And as well, share it with somebody that maybe needs a little bit of advice. I've been RichTheMan, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.